You
I mean,
come
I'm
from the
streaming
blood
right
sports
now, so I don't know about that, dude.
Yeah, you're streaming right now and no one cares, dude. No one cares because you're sensitive. Because you're a loser.
Uh-huh. Yeah. All right, buddy.
Flamenco is somebody that's had a pretty tough career. He's a VTuber, I guess, if this model counts as VTubing. And despite at times being well connected, having associations with AugieRFC, the Killstream and Mister Metokur, he is now known as an embarrassing failure due to his many mishaps and public fallouts. If you're aware of these guys I've listed off, you won't be surprised that Flamenco liked to see himself as the edgy type. He was the type of guy that thought he was really special because he read Kiwi Farms threads and watched anime. But these interests Flamenco had became obsessions, leading him down some dark and unsavoury paths. And looking through his career, I think a pretty good blueprint can be laid out for how to not act online.
Hey, Flamenco! Leave them kids alone!
Yeah, okay, buddy. Okay, buddy.
FlamencoTV was a commentary, politics and anime streamer, so a triple threat of potential predator genres. He first became known to many through the Killstream, a blood sports live show hosted by Ethan Ralph.
The singular force! The Ralph of Mail!
Now I'll be honest, I watched a very small amount of the Killstream whilst Flamenco was a co-host, and I am just going from memory, but it did seem like he really looked up to the people there. He was a right-wing otaku outcast, and this was a place that he could be himself. You know, he could allude to conspiracies about the he could talk about his anime shit with Gator, and this was an avenue to get noticed by his idol, provocative content creator here on YouTube, Mister Metokur. So he became loyal to Ralph, and even had some wins, such as setting up the infamous debate with Vaush, where Vaush let rip the tactical N-word.
I'm doing good. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty great, actually. How about you?
Flamenco, I'm doing good. Flamenco says you're a communist.
I'm an anarchist, but they're pretty close. We don't need to split hairs. Political violence was the topic Flamenco originally brought to me when we considered going on the Killstream, and that seems to be a pretty hot one.
If you aren't aware of what this video is, a word of warning, don't watch it in public.
Dude, you can just say
And I am also obligated to virtue signal and say that Vaush is a disgusting creep. There are no winners on this side of the internet. Anyway, this talk was a complete shit show. And it also led to Flamenco displaying some deranged behavior.
Back when I was streaming on Twitch, they like spam messaged me, and I just thought they were a random like alt-right deuterino, you know? And they came on stream one time, we talked.
You see, Vaush is a very hateable person, but Flamenco doesn't enjoy hate-watching or A-logging people. He sits there getting very upset about the creator.
It's so fucking difficult. It's so fucking arduous to be like, oh, somebody's pushing back against me so.
And in Vaush's case, since he had him on Discord, Flam would message him snarky gotchas regularly whilst he was streaming. Embarrassingly for Flam, Vaush got bored of this and stopped replying to him, but Flamenco didn't stop messaging Vaush.
Got June 2nd, June 5th, June 8th, June 9th, June 10th, June 14th, and June 18th. So, you know, so he's committed. He's committed, you know? And most recently, and this is my favorite one, he's actually gone like 2 months and 40 messages without a response from me. If we go down, yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's a bit schizo, but I couldn't help but notice this. You can see him here messaging, "I'm glad I could help." This is Mister Metokur's catchphrase. This guy would get made fun of for being a copy of Metokur, even in the way he speaks. He actually would go to anime conventions cosplayed as the guy. This is f***ing ill. And here he is, using his catchphrase whilst being ignored by Vaush. But this is not the worst that Vaush has on him. See, Vaush has his own website, and it has its own chat for whilst he streams. And Vaush figured out that many accounts, such as Far Left Chud, Kiwi Farms Will Rise, and Liquid Vaush, were all Flamenco alts. And look, I understand this is giving Vaush a W, but it's Flamenco's fault.
But that's not all. These people have separate Kiwi Farms accounts. Do you want to see something truly glorious? Holy shit. Here's Far Left Chud, aka Flamenco, responding to an instance in which Pig Puncher, our good friend Pig Puncher, called out Flamenco for having a lot of alts. Far Left Chud says, Pig Puncher is doing his usual Flamenco IP dance after he got trolled. And then Flamenco responds, what did I supposedly do now? Far Left Chud responds, Someone trolled him with a username called Zoe Quinn is a liar, and he thought it was you. We pulled the IP addresses. It was him. They're the same person.
Truly shameful stuff. Like, this is in no way cool. This is in no way funny. It looks like the only reason Flamenco is doing this is to stroke his own ego after he gets mad about an annoying lefty content creator. And I'm kind of guessing here, but I think the reason why nothing come of this is because the Killstream crowd inherently distrust Vaush and at the time liked Flamenco, even though Ralph did start to make digs at Flamenco on occasions.
Imagine the state that you would be in if you started on time, Ralph. You'd be fucked.
Imagine if anybody cared about you, Flamenco.
I know, right?
You would have no audience because that would have never happened. But anyway,
nobody cared
we
about
love
any
you.
of us.
We love you here. We love you here, though. We love you here.
Here we are at the point where Ralph was brutally embarrassing himself with pill streams, where he was mixing Xanax and alcohol to such an extreme, it's impressive he even managed to go live, and Flam was here looking out for the guy.
So what do you want to do going forward with this? Do you still have stuff going on with your family that you want to maybe take some time off and deal with? Because me and Gator can keep the lights on for pretty much as long as you need, buddy.
Yeah, I haven't decided. I haven't decided that.
But eventually, like everybody does, Flamenco fell out with Ralph. I'm not sure when the bridge actually burnt, but it just seems like an inevitability for everyone that knows Ethan Ralph. Even his most loyal servant, the Gator Gamer, broke free from the grip of his little trotters eventually. But this didn't turn out to be an issue for Flamenco. Flamenco could get an audience just covering Ethan Ralph acting so badly, and also Metokur had fallen out with Ralph, leading to what I would imagine to be Flam's personal highlight of his career.
Oh, hello?
Oh, hello.
How's it going, sir?
Oh, I'm just waiting with bated breath.
I know. Oh,
after that amazing intro.
Yeah, I threw that together in like 2 minutes, but I thought that was, it worked out really
modest. Well. Oh, you're so modest. That took no effort at all. I mean, Jesus.
It's uncanny, isn't it? This is what I would imagine it would be like to talk to an AI chatbot of yourself.
Level 1 versus level 79. Somebody's practicing, haven't they?
Practicing.
But anyway, not only did Flamenco get to spend time with his idol, this was a very successful stream for him. They got to spend a long time talking about the current drama, and Flamenco thrashed him at Guilty Gear.
Yep. I took one match in a couple rounds.
Yep.
I kneel.
Yep.
I kneel to my superior. There you go.
Then Flamenco has to go and ruin it all with this cringe shit.
Oh no, this is just the position role now. I get to lead the Chudbud division of the Sweetie Squad. I think that's my official title now.
Okay, let me close this out so I can run away from the humiliation.
FlamencoTV was then the leader of the Chudbud division of the Sweetie Squad. How did those words come out of his mouth without him feeling stupid? But you know, he did get to shake the pill bottle in front of Daddy Jim.
Flamenco, can you hear me? Tatinko, you there?
I can't hear you.
Flamenco!
Really funny stuff. And Flamenco was riding high off of this.
You made Mister Metokur from his mouth go, I'm here for the humiliation. I'm being dominated. It was tough. It was tough to watch Daddy Jim be dominated by you in such a fashion. All of us who looked up to him, now you're the new Jim.
But seriously, with this success, Flamenco did make a bit of a name for himself, as he had also established a niche in covering VTuber drama. The stuff that Flamenco liked to watch was like age-regressed women pretending to be cartoon children for an audience of lonely men in their 30s.
The only foreign country I've been to is the US, and...
So it's not really something I am interested in or am going to cover. What is important to this story, though, is he also got close with AugieRFC.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the AugieRFC TV channel. My name is AugieRFC, and I'm the host of Red Fox Comms.
And started making appearances on his after-hours stream with Nicholas DeOrio, Turkey Tom, and Bo Blacks.
At least let Flam in. Is he in there? What's up, Flam?
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
This was back in Augie's closeted era, before he was out and proud with his partner Connor, and his earliest collaborations with Flamenco I can find were Among Us and Super Mario Sunshine streams.
Flam, do a Mario impression. Mamma mia! Missa mia! Mario!
Amazing.
A trait that Flamenco has that's similar to many other online embarrassing figures is that he has a habit for oversharing when it's absolutely unnecessary to. Here he is openly talking about his attraction to his step-cousin and how this led him into getting into anime, presumably because it was one of her interests.
Yeah, she's related to my stepfather's sister through like marriage or whatever. So it's like it's a weird thing. I'm sorry.
That would be very awkward for family get-togethers if you marry.
I'm sorry, but redheads are just like
okay, buddy.
Okay.
No, I unironically had a crush on her. I unironically had a crush on her.
Whoa!
Remind me
you have a girlfriend.
Wait. Remind me again how y'all are related?
I had a crush on her when I was 13. I am related to her because she is my cousin through my stepfather's sister.
Okay. Well, stepfather, so it's not real.
Stepfather's
yeah, but it's still still cousin by marriage.
Okay, that's a little bit better though, but like at least it's not real. It's like
well, that's why I said step cousin. Like
I thought you were talking about real cousin, and I'm just like, okay, buddy.
This is like an unironic, like super hard crush. Okay, like this girl is like kind of the reason I got into freaking anime. Okay.
Oh no!
Damn.
It's her fault. Fuck her, man.
Lolcow Enjoyer, Kiwi Farms poster, doesn't understand that disclosing information such as this on a live stream full of commentary and drama enjoyers is going to lead to it being clipped, discussed and mocked relentlessly. And Flamenco's obsession with lolcows would seep through into his commentary on other dramas. One time stood out to me on After Hours when the crew were discussing the harassment of Pokimane and whether she got disproportionately harassed compared to male Twitch streamers.
Wait, what is the argument that you guys were having?
That Pokemon's largely uncontroversial, with the exception of like extremely personal cases and like misrepresented drama over the past like 2 years. There's like really not many big arguments against her.
Yes, it must have been a slow news day, but Flamenco comes in with a comparison that I think sums up this issue I have with him.
One of the other things I would say is that I think that there's like a lot of parallels between like Pokimane and DSP, specifically way in which hold on, let me finish what I'm saying.
To understand Pokimane's wrongdoing, we must first look back at the career of the great DSP.
I want to know like what's the difference between Pokimane and Darkseid?
There's no way I'm engaging.
Okay, then explain to me what the difference is.
Pokimane and Darkseid Phil is.
Explain to me what the difference is then.
This is like super autistic.
No, I want to know though. What's the difference between Darkseid Phil and Pokimane?
Everything in Flamenco's tiny little box of a world must be understandable through the lens of a lolcow or Kiwi Farms or a Mister Metokur drama. You can see him here in the Vaush DMs claiming that Vaush went full wings. This is not just a funny part of the internet for Flamenco, this is his world. And I think this is a big reason as to why he is just so difficult to listen to. Like, I was a fan of the old After Hours streams, they had some great moments, but this debate in particular was like pulling teeth to get through.
Why would only the first tweet be talking about numbers when I'm specifically listing examples, Flamenco? So
because
on
you
top
literally
of it,
said as hard as. That's how English works.
All right, as hard as my cock when I fuck you in the ass in this debate.
No, Nick, you have to make a good point before you do the Destiny like gloating shit.
And I will give Flamenco a W. That was a fairly funny comment, and I do want to sidestep to just talk about Mr. Lips quickly.
That's bad, but Flamenco is allowed to say that I'm aping Destiny's talking points the whole debate uncontested. Like, I saw people legitimately mad that I made a joke saying, like, I'm gonna f you in the ass in this debate or something in the middle of it, but let every one of the Destiny jokes that fucking Flamenco go completely unclaimed.
Yes, he would get very upset about people calling him a skinwalker at this point in time, but I do think we need to give Nick a bit of empathy and maybe even a bit of charitability, because this was around the time that he was by a Eheba cult into thinking he was non-binary.
Yeah, dude, I could be like, imagine, hypothetically, fat shaming a non-binary lad like myself. How dare you, Ethan? Susan, as a fat non-binary victim of body shaming, my video should not have been age restricted, Susan. Yeah, no community is perfect. They're just currently the big bads. If commentary comes out and gets as many stories wrong as they do, and commentary starts f***ing up, I expect other people to start holding us accountable. And I'm not gonna say it's because we're non-binary men, okay? I'm not gonna like fucking take my my intrinsic fucking trait or whatever and and jump behind it like a big human shield. Dude,
That's pretty
Gamer
funny.
from Mars walked up to me and he goes, "Hey Nick, you're non-binary, right?" That was the first thing he said to me, and I didn't know how to respond. I was like stoned out of my mind. I was like, "Yeah, dude."
This guy used to knock about with the Killstream lot, and then from a couple years of watching Destiny, he turned into an aspiring hermaphrodite. What the hell is going on there? But anyway, Flamenco and his obsessions. Earlier we heard Vaush reference that Flamenco is bothering someone called Pig Puncher. This is actually an old alias for Xanderhal.
X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign.
And Flamenco had a much deeper, freakier obsession for him than he did Vaush. It started out as Flam just seeing him as somebody that he could make fun of.
So, this right here is our boy Xanderhal, formerly Pig Puncher. He's traded one screen name for another. I don't know why he decided that he wanted to sound like a antipsychotic medication, but hey, what are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do? You gotta follow your bliss. You gotta follow your creative outlets, however you need to go.
We can even see President Sunday of all people in the comments of this video taking shots at Flamenco. And he is right, you can't do this above it all cutting critique whilst sounding a bit anxious and frail. If you aren't aware of who Xanderhal is, he's like a Vaush clone that has the energy of like a really stupid child. And for some reason Flamenco just couldn't get him out of his head. Which this in itself is an L. Xanderhal I think at most should be thought of maybe once every few months, just to have a little chuckle at his expense and then to move on. And I'm going to take it back to Metokur once again. Metokur would spitball stuff, and he would speculate. And he would comment on such speculations for comedic effect, often to try to get a rise out of his subject. Flamenco would also speculate, but in his case it would lead to him getting so mad that he considered on stream contacting Xanderhal's mother in the hope that she would cut financial ties with Xan.
I'm feeling this out with you guys because I want to spitball my idea anyway. This guy doesn't make a whole lot of money on the internet, but he has rent that is like upwards of $1,600 a month. My personal theory is that he is not subsidizing his own income through work or anything, and that he is largely paying his rent through his parents floating his rent bill. This guy has gone on record saying that his mom was mentally and physically abusive towards him. I don't know if his mom knows about that. I'm wondering, should I send his mom all this nasty stuff that he said about her? All I would be doing is I would be sending information about his mom, or about him and what he said about his mom to his mom. Now, I don't know. It would be really funny.
So Flam's theory is that Xanderhal wasn't making enough money online to pay his way and must be being subsidized by his family. So in contacting his mother and essentially telling on him, this might mean that Xanderhal would need to retire his online career and get a normal job. This whole thing kicked off because Flamenco thought Xanderhal might make a video on him, and Flamenco was really threatened by this. But just take a listen to the video that Xanderhal did end up making.
Kiwi Farms is a website that's traced back to the Society of Christorians. People on the internet who, well, there's no other way to put it than dedicate themselves to stalking, harassing, and documenting a autistic transonic fan on the internet.
How is this guy a threat? Xanderhal has the mind of a child. He can barely read a script. This is the whole game Flamenco wanted to get into by being a budget Metokur. And the minute the most harmless sped starts talking about him, he ends up in a heap crying in the f***ing corner, having to get his online big brother to calm him down.
Tune into the stream and you're talking about how you want to like... Well, explain to me what you want to do so that I don't take
I want to send a letter to his mother about all the really insane, nasty shit that he said about her, and like the screenshots and even video evidence of.
Wait, you want to send his mom shit that he said about his mom?
Yeah.
Why? No, that's insane.
So Augie did successfully talk him out of doing this, and then he had him on after hours the next day to give him a good telling off.
Would telling
you made a poll?
Mommy and getting
I made a poll.
Him cut off be too far?
This call is very shameful on Flamenco's behalf. He just shows complete subservience to Augie, whilst also weaseling around, trying to make it seem like what he's doing isn't as bad as it is.
Okay.
Like, you're literally threatening to ruin his life.
I don't
and
think
you're
it would
gloating
ruin his
about
life.
it, and you're laughing about it on
I don't think it would ruin his
stream.
life.
But
I
you
think
just
it would cause
said,
minor inconvenience. I think it would cause.
what do you mean a minor inconvenience? You're talking about making him lose his
I don't
job.
think it would cause. I do not think it would cause him to get evicted.
I don't care. You're literally
Okay.
making him ruin his, like, you're in this clip. You think that what you're going to do is going to cause him to lose his job, right?
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck is that not a big deal?
No, no, you're right. You're right.
I mean, this should just be obvious to you, man. Like, it shouldn't have to be me telling you this, you know?
Mm-hmm. You know, maybe I don't know. I probably had like blinders on when I was going into this, probably. So I do appreciate like everyone telling me that I was fucking up.
Xanderhal has talked about this situation, and what do you know? He was endlessly messaging him trying to get his attention whilst he was streaming, and when he got blocked he was making oaths to try to contact Xanderhal as well. And somehow, despite this clear display of psychopathy, this all blew over, and Augie and some of the RFC crew ended up going on an IRL trip with Flamenco. Now I'll take some shots at Augie and Connor, but I in no way hate them. Maybe I am a bit salty that I got mogged by a bold lesbian when trying to make a Bo Black's copycat channel. I was the first, alright? But this is coming from an honest place of curiosity. How the hell did this guy not figure out that Flamenco was a huge red flag? Like, maybe Bo Blacks wouldn't have had the mental capacity to figure it out, but Augie really should have by this point. But not long after this, things were going to get a lot worse for Flamenco. There were leaks from Flamenco's personal Reddit, his Steam account, and from websites that were not safe for work. Now, I am principally against looking into people's personal details like this, but in this case they have already been extensively covered. The Reddit leak was simply extremely embarrassing, because he was putting out personal ads on BDSM subreddits.
Alright.
Yeah.
Let's get through what he likes. Bondage, a slight bit of pain,
Just a slight.
and chastity, humiliation, and a lot of other... Wait, am I reading...
Okay,
Yes, this is an insane humiliation ritual to put himself through, but things got a lot worse regarding his Steam account. Now, I'm a bit reluctant to even cover this. I know my place, alright? I'm no private investigator. But it came to the public's attention that Flamenco had joined pro-map Steam groups. Now, there was some level of ambiguity around this allegation. At the time of Flamenco joining these groups, there was no such activity by any of the members. It's been reported that these were normal Steam groups, then after time some members started posting pro-map content, and Flamenco had never publicly engaged in anything like this either. So there is a chance that this was an extremely sick troll. I don't know if I can believe that, it sounds too insane to me. But there is at least some grey area there. And what helped Flamenco's case for this was his appearance on the Kino Casino. This episode would have the regulars Andy Warski and PPP, and on this episode Godwinson returned to grill Flamenco. But unfortunately, they were completely unprepared. The start of the conversation boils down to Godwinson saying, "Flamenco, you're a bit of a nonce, aren't you?" Flamenco says, "No, I'm not." And then Godwinson goes, "Yeah, but you are though, aren't you?" And that's really his main play. It's a really poor showing on Godwinson's part. And this guy, he probably is a bit of a schizo. I don't know all of his lore. But regarding just Godwinson's content, he has made a few banger videos. So this is a disappointing show to watch back. Eventually, they just start prodding Flamenco, trying to get him to freak out. And he keeps his cool.
That's where that thing comes from. There's no posts in that server.
Flamenco, do you just want to take a moment and calm down? You sound very agitated.
Well, yeah, I'm a little agitated because you guys are using the most flimsy of evidence to call me a pedophile.
Well, we can bring up more exhibits.
I don't know how they failed at this, because Flamenco will just freak out on his own.
And that's what I said about Tux. That's what I said about Tux. Because Tux admitted to his sister. No, that's a threshold.
And with this, annoyingly, it's kind of left up in the air how much of a danger Flamenco actually is. Also in the case against him, there's Boy Soprano. Now, Flamenco would not only browse hentai websites, he would download and upload a ridiculous amount of content to them. And one of the pieces of content that Flamenco uploaded to this website was about a 15-year-old boy. Now, I'm not going to check, but Flamenco actually claimed that he got Bo Blacks to go and read it, and Bo Black said it was totally fine.
Boy Soprano.
There's no lolly in there.
There's no lolly.
Nope.
Okay, anyhow. I want to get into
says much anyway.
Oh, if Bo Black says it's okay, well, we're in good hands, don't worry. Seriously, most of the people were very disgusted with what they saw in that thing. That's how come this became a big situation. But this again was successfully talked and weaseled around. And it was not until a new character entered the arena that Flamenco's downfall truly started. Now, as Musical MMA proclaims, live streamer and commentary creator Salvo Pancakes is a nasty, rotten individual, and he would at times go below the belt. But the problem Flamenco had is Salvo's commentary was at times very funny, and when it came to Salvo's Flamenco content, he did nothing worse than Flamenco and his ilk would do on a regular basis. As an observer, this is Flam's greatest arc to witness. You see someone who thinks he's Metokur's protege, ex-Killstream host, hardened Kiwi Farms advocate that loves trolling, get mocked by someone that is far funnier than he is, leading to a complete meltdown.
Why are you taking Salvo seriously then, dude? Like, come on.
I'm not.
You
I'm
are.
not
You're giving him the
taking
attention.
seriously. I just don't like being called a by fucking and people laughing it off like it's some fucking joke.
Excellent stuff. So let's take a look at the two clips that set this whole thing in motion. The first clip features a commissioned song by Mike the Bike.
Hey, Flamenco, leave them kids alone.
This is a song that Flamenco got mad over.
And the second clip is when Salvo discusses his distaste of Sonic, I know, and accidentally misspeaks and says Flamenco's name.
I goddamn hate Flamenco. I hate Flamenco and I hate Sonic. And it's coming from a place of pure and honest vitriol. I want to rip that mother apart. And I mean that. I want to kill him. I want to spam him repeatedly. I want to make him feel pain. I hate this. This Sonic guy.
Both funny and reasonable things to do on your show, and these are the things that caused Flamenco to absolutely lose it. And the thing is, Salvo had hopped on live streams and personally tormented Flamenco far worse than any of this anyway.
But trust me, Flamenco, you are bottom of the barrel humanity scum. And I knew this. I could just tell by the way you are. I knew you were you were some middle-aged, mid-30s society Columbine.
Wait, 30,
loser, bro.
33
Jesus.
is middle-aged? What?
Yes, you. If you didn't find the internet, Flamenco, you would be high schools and. He's right. Hate on him, guys. Hate on him, but he's spitting straight back.
Pretty ruthless stuff. But what does Flamenco have to fight back with? Metokur bit.
Flamenco, the men are talking. The men are talking. The men are talking.
Oh, he's hollering. Okay.
Flamenco. You should have been left alone when you were sitting alone in your lunchroom with the hood up.
It's so brutal. Everything Flamenco does is so referential, I don't know if he can form original thoughts. And for some reason, the existence of Salvo completely stopped him from being able to act rationally at all. Flamenco was so unhappy about this Sonic clip that he called into Augie's stream for a chat.
I want to spam him repeatedly. I want to make him feel pain.
So I'm curious, like open season now, anybody can say that they want to kill somebody live on air like that?
That's right. Flamenco perceived this as a threat to his life.
Do you think this is this violates some grounds of internet ethics?
No, I'm just saying that if it were anybody else and they were saying that they wanted to kill somebody, it would probably be handled a little bit different.
No, it wouldn't.
This just goes without saying is a pathetic way to act. And regarding the excellent Pink Floyd parody that he got very upset by, Flamenco displays an insane level of hypocrisy. You see, there was someone that would make musical parodies of Ethan Ralph and Mundane Matt called MC Jarbo. These songs were very high quality, and they were also incredibly offensive. And because these weren't about Flamenco, they were about his enemies, he thought they were awesome and played them regularly on his streams. And this hypocrisy was rightly pointed out by Augie and Tom.
I mean, like, I don't think I've ever joked calling you a though.
But you have laughed at MC Jarbo calling Ralph a pedophile, right?
Yeah. I don't think he ever called Ralph a pedophile. I think he called Pantsu a pedophile. Well, he makes like he makes direct allusions to like barely legal. So I don't know.
Well, I mean that would kind of insinuate like.
No, if they're legal, then it's not. Yeah. What?
I mean, then why even call it out? Why even say barely legal? Why even point out the fact
like a lot of people were saying that like it's weird that a like 35-year-old dude is
okay. Here's some lyrics from MC Jarbo. As the kingpin of the ring, I'm from the Bible Belt. I get the kids young, and I got my own church.
This is ridiculous. He called him a.
Okay, he did.
He definitely did.
And lyrics like this make up so much of MC Jarbo's content that Flamenco has listened to a lot. Flamenco obviously knew that these songs had far worse lyrics than anything that Mike the Bike had ever made about him. But I think in the moment he had convinced himself this wasn't the case. A different time Flamenco got in a bit of controversy was surrounding Keffels and an allegation made on Twitter about them embezzling funds from a communist political movement. Flamenco read this tweet from this random person and just ran with it, repeating the claim as if it were fact. Aiden Underground confronted him about this, and it's a difficult one, this one, because I can't figure out if he is just being a slimy debate bro trying to get out of a stupid impulsive act, or if this tweet existing has actually created proof in Flamenco's world that the allegation is true.
Okay. So I asked for like the tweet with like proof relating to the claim, and this is what you linked as your proof. Do you understand why this is not enough to state something as fact, especially an accusation of a crime?
I don't think that's true.
So you think the word of a Twitter user is enough to state something as fact?
I think that it's more evidence than Keffels has laid out for any of her claims.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking how much evidence she's laid out. I'm asking, in your personal opinion, do you think that the word of a Twitter user is enough to state that somebody committed a crime as a fact?
With this one specifically, I think it's a pretty credible allegation.
Okay, I mean, regardless of how, whether you think it's extremely credible or not, do you understand how it may be like a little bit defamatory to accuse somebody of a crime without any?
I don't think it is.
This is your only evidence. Your only evidence is the word of a Twitter user.
No, it came to light that this is what happened. They can dispute that if they want to, but this is what came to light as a result of Keffels' major kerfuffle. This wasn't being talked about until after they took credit for getting Destiny banned on Twitch.
You made an accusation of embezzlement, yes or no?
I didn't make the accusation of embezzlement. The Twitter user made the accusation of embezzlement.
They made the accusation and you reiterated it as fact, right? Embezzlement, which is a crime, correct?
I don't fully know if I fully said it as a fact.
Does this not seem irresponsible to you for this to be a spur of the moment tweet?
I don't think it's at all irresponsible. There's evidence to back it up. There is
what
corroborating evidence that makes the allegation credible. Specifically,
what evidence?
The tweet. The allegation is out there. Allegations are evidence.
A tweet is not evidence. A tweet is not evidence.
Allegations are evidence. Allegations are evidence.
No, they are not.
Yes, they are. Allegations are absolutely evidence.
Allegations are not evidence. That is completely absurd.
Allegations are absolutely evidence.
I guess that he has such a low cognitive ability that he isn't using some debate bro tactic. He can't believe that he's done something wrong. So his brain retroactively builds a barrier that then in the moment he believes. Like this tweet is good enough proof that Keffels was embezzling funds. MC Jarbo didn't say anything bad like that backstabber Mike the Bike did, and he did not cross any moral lines by considering contacting Xanderhal's mum. I think he's so delusional that in the moment these things are all true to him. But let's get back to the Salvo fallout, and this is where this video is at risk of becoming a bit of a clip show, because Flamenco just called into literally anybody's stream that would talk about him. Here's a clip of Mike the Bike, the producer of the Hey Flamenco parody song, talking to him.
You want to be technical? You want to be technical? You want to be technical about MC Jarbo not calling Ethan a well, if we want to get technical, I didn't call you a on my song. I didn't say Flamenco. I could have said the word. I could have said the lyric. Hey, I could have said, all in all, you're just another pedophile. I could have said that. I could have directly called you that on many of the lyrics. Never once do I directly call you a and actually held back a little bit.
Do you infer it?
And also,
Does MC Jarbo infer it?
Edwin's generation, this old man that presents himself like this because I presume he hangs outside of schools, was funnily enough the one that got Flamenco to finally admit he was lying about his age.
Also, Flamenco, can we get to the bottom of your age?
Shut the fuck up. We're not doing
that. Very...
Isn't he like early 30s?
Yeah, early 30s.
Yeah, don't do that to him.
It's because last year, I thought that Flamenco had said that he was 26.
Yeah, he did say he was 26.
But
yeah, it was before my my docs came out.
Oh, okay, see? So I'm sorry you don't know the lore, AC, but it turns out his age is moving around, okay?
Yeah.
You see, this whole time, you could have been excused to think this was like a saga of a 19-year-old kid having a hard time growing up on the internet. But no, this entire thing has been the actions of a grown-ass 30-year-old man.
Can you just admit now on stream that you read or you viewed about a 15-year-old?
Yeah, sure. 10 years ago, man. Oof.
How old are you 10 years ago? Sorry, I forgot.
24?
Sorry, can you say it louder? I didn't hear.
24. Aiden. Okay.
I'm sorry, it's like a condition.
The late great Tommy C, R.I.P, had some spats with him. And of course, Nicholas DeOrio drove many nails into his coffin. And DeOrio does have to get given a lot of credit here. Flamenco did seem to become obsessed with him. Here Flamenco is arguing on Twitter about why he's not annoying. This person lists a bunch of reasons why Flamenco is annoying. And his totally sick comeback to this is, I get why people don't like double stuff. I was asking about me. Double stuff is like his funny name he calls DeOrio. Just completely pathetic. It's almost sad to see. And eventually, even Big Brother, AugieRFC, had to disavow. In his case, writing a Flamenco manifesto. It's fine, it's good that he did it. And this left Flam with nobody, sadly. Commentary had all disavowed. Metokur sadly had disavowed as well.
I mean, well, Jim, what's your opinion on Flamenco? Has he disappointed you? Has the Golden Boy let you down?
So I think when the hentai leaks came out, I thought it was more humorous than anything. And then when the pedo Steam group shit came out, I was like, that looks really bad. I don't know. There's a lot of smoke there, man. And it's hard for me to ignore that and be like, oh, well, that's just got to be a coincidence.
Obviously, none of the Killstream crew would want him back. Maybe Gator? Maybe Gator and the anime boomers thought this was all perfectly normal behavior. It's not really much of a cushion for the blow, though. But what I thought put a real end to this arc was him going on Turkey Tom's stream. Now, Tom seemed to sidestep all of this drama because he was just making his videos, but he then got to live streaming a bit later and mentioned Flamenco, which inevitably means Flamenco's gonna find out, start spurging, and call in. And although Tom did not graduate from the debate purgatory college that many others did, in this conversation he did comment on a few damning observations.
He'll say that I'm two-faced, and I'll try to demonstrate that I'm not, and he'll be like, but you were shit-talking me, right? And I was like, yes, but that doesn't mean I'm two-faced. And he's like, okay, buddy. And he just says that, and he acts aloof, but he doesn't actually make a point. Like, the thing why Mr. Metokur is good is because Mr. Metokur will he'll make a point about something, and then he'll be like, okay, buddy, because there's substance to it. But Flamenco doesn't have any of that. He doesn't have the actual bite. All he has is like the weird joke, and he acts aloof. But he's not like, he's actually very insecure, and so that's why I have to like go about it in this way. It's like, you know, the reason why I have to retread all this shit is because he still doesn't get it, and I feel like I have to hammer it into his skull. But anytime I try to, he like sidetracks to some other shit. You can't humiliate me.
You're the cymbal clanging monkey for a fat reason.
So my question
I don't know what that. I don't really.
Worski, you're actually Andy Worski in this situation.
What the fuck are you talking about?
All right.
And I think this is basically it. Tom was like the last guy that he hadn't chimped out and fully burnt the bridge with. That is apart from one person that stuck around for a questionably large amount of time.
Like, and you don't want to be that person that everybody says, oh, I'm going to go fuck with Flamenco, provoke a reaction so I can get 1,000 subscribers so I can monetize my channel. You don't want to be that guy. Don't give them the reaction. Don't let them see you sweat.
All right.
Yeah, that was a clip of Gators talking, but I didn't really want to suffer through this any longer than I needed to. But this person you can see on screen is Stardust, now going by Small Talk Me. Still can't find your channel. It's not like anyone would want to watch this anyway. Now, a few years ago, in around 2022, Stardust was surprisingly well connected, and she'd do a live show podcast type of thing called Chaos Cast that would actually get quite good viewership. She'd have all sorts of weird commentary, Twitch poll and YouTube type of people on. What's really annoying about this is Stardust scrubbed most of this stuff from the internet. And I knew for a fact there were going to be many funny clips of Flamenco saying, "Oh, don't get mad at the internet, buddy," being really smug and annoying. You know, and they would have made great sound bites throughout this video. But this idiot decided to rebrand as Small Talk Me and delete everything. And what really makes me feel like I'm being kicked whilst I'm down is that Stardust is so evidently stupid, I don't think she's capable of feeling shame. Which, if all things were fair and just, she'd be feeling an overflowing amount of on a constant basis. And as crazy as this seems now, getting the Stardust endorsement was actually a bit of a chance for Flamenco. But unfortunately, this was a non-starter. Because when it comes to the case of Stardust, she had no avenue for actually being entertaining herself, so she just fell back on yelling a lot, which most people over time recognised as being completely unwatchable. So although she could coast off of good graces and connections for a while, eventually they all dried up along with her viewer base. Stardust is now editing for this frail freak of a content creator, making thumbnails that look like this. Imagine this man, draped in his Israeli flag. He sees this and he's like, "Ah, nice, Stardust, that's a good thumbnail." But Flamenco, yes, did have more opportunities given to him. There was a point in 2023, Keemstar offered Flam a road to at least a small bit of redemption in boxing this incredibly peculiar individual called Bunk. Keem was well connected in the influencer boxing circle at this time, so this would have been a good look for him. Keem just needed some evidence from Flam that he would at least leave the house and engage in some form of training before setting up contracts with them. And this is something that Flam was not willing to do, resulting in Keem dropping Flam as a potential fighter. Funnily enough, the Keemstar show provided Flam another potential W by having Flam on after exposing his arch nemesis Salvo. But for some reason, Flamenco didn't just go on there to dance on Salvo's grave and get an easy win. He made the very strange decision to go on there and immediately start defending Edwin's generation's love of age play.
To my knowledge, that's when like a girl pretends that she's like more infantile than like she might already be. I don't think that means that he's like ever done anything with. I saw that was going on. It's just like, well, it's a
well,
thing, so
Flamenco, you're into age play, right? You're also into age play, right?
No, absolutely not, dude. I can barely stand how infantile women are normally sometimes.
But who got exposed for like being into like young kid cartoons, right?
It's just like a comic essentially.
Okay, and it had little kids in it.
And then he had an opportunity by going on Kick or Keep. This is a Raj Royale type of popularity game where he was the first one to be voted off, and in the process got mogged by a cum-drinking nonce.
You can find me on YouTube at FlamencoTV and hopefully start streaming regularly soon, but it's been a issue with my internet lately. So
whoa, we
peace
didn't
out,
ask
guys.
for autobiography. Yes, thank you. We'll find you online. Have fun. Peace out. Goodbye.
And that was it. And Elvis Bad, I think, was the final nail in the coffin.
Is it a requirement? What is the visa you're on? Is it fucking sperm swallow visa that you have to suck off at least 10?
Since then, there has been more personal information leaked about Flamenco. If all of the old stuff was like a bit up in the air, you didn't want to trust Vaush or Xanderhal. Well, it also got leaked recently that he had over 20 Reddit accounts that he would try to chat up e-girls on.
And then he gets no response after that. No response after that. He has to move on to somebody else. Here he is talking to Rose Ella. Rose Ella So Flamenco opens up and says, I'm a Dom and like League of Legends. What the fuck?
Never forget he acted younger to talk to Augie and literal child Aiden. Leave them kids alone looking like a Kevin the Sea Cucumber having ass.
Dude, I'm a Dom and I like League of Legends. Says it twice. He says, so really it would be somewhat long distance thing, but with regular visits. If that appeals to you, then yay. If not, then sorry. Would that be something that interests you? No! No way! He says, sigh. Ghosted again. What the?
Really cool and crazy, and you wouldn't be too surprised that he hasn't been that vocal online, seeing how much of an embarrassing person it came to light he was through this whole saga. But I have seen reports that he now watches Mama Oko, and if this is true, I don't think this is going to help. So that was the video. This one's been fun to make, but I don't actually know anyone that I've talked about here, so if I have gotten anything glaringly wrong, I'll pin a comment. And you probably did notice I've cut the hell out of this. I'll be honest, I don't know what's good on here. I'm floating the idea of going forward putting uncut versions early on my Patreon. If that sounds like a good idea, let me know and I'll commit to it. Thanks for watching.